The Eye Track Voluntary task is designed to improve eye movement control. This task should be selected if a problem was found on the Eye Track test during iCept testing. There are some other eye tracking tasks at the bottom of the list, but these have been added as future training options and should only be prescribed by an optometrist, since training in these areas without professional advice could make the eye tracking worse. If the central value was found to be below or fail on the Eye Track test, this could either be due to poor attention or it could be due to a problem keeping the two eyes steady. If a student has reasonably attempted the eye tracking test and the central value is below or fail, then it is recommended that the eye tracking training is done with alternate patching. This involves covering one eye with a patch for a training session and then swapping to the other eye for the next session, which typically will be the next day, hence the term alternate patching. Keep doing this for the full duration of training the eye movements. If a student wears glasses, then you can place a soft cloth behind one lens. This works fine so long as there is no history of a lazy eye, where one eye doesn't see very well. In this case, you would have to do the training with both eyes together. Studies have shown that alternate patching can improve the stability between the eyes, but it is not particularly beneficial after the age of 12 and is most beneficial for students ages 10 or younger. Speaking of age, the default number of training sessions is set to 28 days, but this should be increased for older students. To find out how many extra sessions to add, then tap on the blue info button. In this example, the student is 12, so we need to add another 14 days or sessions of training. The extra days can be selected by tapping on the purchase button in the bottom right corner and then going up to the Eye Track Voluntary task and entering 14 days. You'll see that the number of sessions has increased from 28 sessions to 42 sessions. This option can also be used later if you need to add more training sessions. Perhaps the most important thing to note about the Eye Track Voluntary task is that students must stay with the full number of training sessions, even if the top level is reached early, which sometimes can occur after just a few days. The reason for this is that changes are still happening in the brain. This is supported by a study using functional MRI scans that shows changes are occurring in the brain even before they are observed at a behavioural level. This can also be confirmed by using an eye tracking device, but unfortunately these are not generally used in clinical practice at present. After the recommended training period, the ability to accurately control eye movements should be close to, if not within or above normal levels for age. So let's do a few trials now. Head to the bottom of the page and tap on the Start button. This will bring you to the Eye Track Voluntary task. Now tap on the Start button in the bottom right corner. And a star and a number will flash up on the screen. The key to this activity is to look in the opposite direction of the star and to enter the number that you see. From time to time a number will flash in the center. So the activity starts at a relatively easy level and then becomes progressively more difficult as you move up the levels. Most students, even ages 7 or 8, will be able to reach the top level on this task. When entering your answer, if you double tap quickly on the number, then your response will be recorded without having to confirm your answer in the dialog box, and this will speed up your training session. Double tap, double tap. One final point: in order for the session to be recorded, then it requires at least 60 trials to be done. As a rule of thumb, if you need to stop early, then try to make it at least halfway, where the background will change from a purple colour to a green colour. If it's difficult to maintain the full number of trials, then there is the option to reduce the number of trials from 140 down to 80 trials. This can be found by going to the instructions at the start of the training, and you'll see there's a fast train button on the bottom. Tap on that one, and now if we go back to our training, you'll see that fast train is switched on. This is shown in the top right hand corner. In the top left hand corner, you'll notice that the number of trials has been reduced from 140 down to 80 trials.